Hello from Copenhagen, Denmark, country number 22 for me, and I have 4 days here in total. During this time, I want to walk around everywhere in the city to really get that true Danish cultural feel. This is Scandinavia's most bustling city. It has a huge art scene. Gonna check out the water, see the historical parts, go to some castles, and just overall have a great time. So yeah, there's a lot to do during this time, so let's get after it. I am at the most famous part of all of Copenhagen, Nyhavn, and this place is known because of the colorful buildings right on the canal and how you have the different boats right in front of it. And looking at it, oh my god, it's all so bright. Orange, red, yellow, pink, and it just goes forth. And then down that one, it's still so much more. It goes for 2 different blocks, which is really nice, being able to take a walk and go up against some restaurants, being able to eat at a restaurant and see this. So this is right near the center of the city as well. It's so easy to get to. The boats are also awesome too because they have this old feeling, these sailboats, and just adds so much more to that charm. It doesn't feel like the rest of Copenhagen. This has such more color. This is made to look like the 17th century, and it's also the entertainment section of the city. It's also really cool how each building is so small, like it's 3-4 stories tall, but it's so narrow, so you have that constant changing of the colors. The restaurants are just stretching. There have to be about 10-12 different ones right alongside it. The colorful buildings are on both sides of the canal. You see right here as well. However, all of the restaurants and the majority of the colorful buildings that just stretch down on the north side. When walking around cities, I will always be looking for potential thumbnail shots, and this is literally it. I saw it, I'm like, yeah, no doubt in my mind, this needs to be the thumbnail. The main pedestrian area is Frederiksberg. Here you'll find that regular pedestrian street where you can just walk down with all of the shops. There are designer shops. You can hear someone behind me is playing some street music, which is great. And you have some high-end stores. Louis Vuitton is here. Of course, you have some central squares and restaurants. So yeah, it's like every other European one. You know, it's enjoyable to walk down. If you love to shop, this is the place that you really need to go. This is the spot that you are going to find all of those trendy clothes that you think of when you think of Copenhagen. And there are really cool stores as well. And what I was referring to about how you just get on some plazas, look right here, how you have that area there. We continue down behind this dumpster. Then it continues. But also, my biggest takeaway, this pavilion area, Frederiksberg, is just completely overrun by tourists. There are no locals. If you want to go to the designer brand stores, this is where you need to go. If you want to go to those boutique stores, then go anywhere else in the city because they upcharge the price by so much here in an already massively expensive city. One of my favorite parts of walking through the streets is, seeing all of the colorful buildings. Green, yellow, red. There are ice cream, churro, waffle, crepe stands all throughout here too. The pedestrian area is large, not just one street, but multiple. I don't know what the total area of it is, but just by rough estimates, I'm guessing like 7 blocks by 3 blocks. The square that I'm at right now is really enjoyable. Loving how you could sit outside, have something to eat, but the colors of the buildings, of the homes, I assume they're apartment buildings, all around, yellow, green, you have red, purple. It is awesome, and this is something you see across the whole city, the multicolors. Rosenborg Castle was built in 1606, and it is a Renaissance style castle. This was actually built as a summer home, and today now is a museum for those of the age 0 to 17, completely free to go in, check it out. For adults, it comes out to be around $20 US. It's cool because not only can you be here and sit at the castle, but there are also these really nice gardens, and you could just walk around the grounds as a whole. So you can see I am outside the castle now, and I am now in this very lovely park area. But the craziest part of this is that look at all these fish that are right here, like literally coming up right to the surface, right to the edge. It's in this little moat thing that's right outside the castle. Why are they up here? There's so many of them. They're literally 3 inches away from me. If I wanted to, I could touch them, but I didn't. Please don't touch the fish. But my guess is they're here because people feed them a lot, so that's why they're always at the surface, because it looks like they wanted food. But don't feed the fish, don't touch the fish. But yeah, that is cool how they were right there. Whoa. Before we go to our next segment, make sure you are subscribed, because I was in Reykjavik, then Stockholm, then Gothenburg, then Malmo. Now I'm in Copenhagen. I'm still going a little bit more throughout Europe, so if you love all this stuff, great travel content, yeah, subscribe. I am at the Christianborg Palace, and this structure is very important both in terms of history and the present day. So historically, there are actually ruins, tunnels underneath that you can go and check out. It's a museum inside. But today, relating to the Danish government, this is where the legislative, executive, and judicial branches sit. So this is where the head of state is. This is where parliament takes place, and the prime minister's office is here. Also, the Supreme Court is in here as well. What industries are in Copenhagen? Well, because it is such a cosmopolitan city, you can find things like fashion, art, but also banking and pharmaceuticals. You know, the company Novo Nordisk, many of you may have not actually have heard of it before, but it has a market cap of $650 billion. It is the 13th largest company in the entire world in terms of market cap. It is just above JP Morgan Chase and just below Tesla. So yeah, in that category. Also, Maersk, the shipping, big here as well. And you have other designer brands, like for example Pandora has a big influence here. Novo Nordisk was the company that invented Ozempic. Speaking of designer brands, Louis Vuitton, Prada, Celine, Balenciaga, Valentino, and so forth. I am at this very big market that has everything that you can get to eat. It has all of these fresh meats from the butcher. You have seafood that you have the fish fresh right on display, and you have these stands literally right behind me, like the Japanese one that you can order, and you sit at stand and it's huge. It goes all the way down. You have probably like 25, 30 different sellers, different stands, maybe even more. You have one main hall, and then you have an outside portion where there are tables for you to eat, but there are also stands for fruits, vegetables, and different other goods, even things selling like stoves, pots, and more. And then there's a second building that has the exact same things where they're selling all these fresh meats. It is a large market hall. Everything looks so good being on display. It's overall such a fun atmosphere. Everybody walking through, seeing all the different foods, buying it. And what's cool is that this isn't just a tourist place. It's mainly a lot of locals who are coming here and actually grocery shopping for themselves. It's very gourmet. What exactly can you eat here? Well, pretty much everything, because there's Japanese, there's Mexican. Oh, look at these empanadas. They look so good. Right here, look at all of the breads. They have ice cream. And yeah, you literally order them, you come and you sit at the stand, enjoy a great meal. In terms of price, things are expensive, which makes sense because it's a gourmet market in a very expensive city. Think of what you would pay in a regular supermarket, well, triple the price, and that's what you're gonna be paying here. And not much more to say. You know, it's a great market, so definitely come here, especially because Copenhagen is so touristy everywhere you go. This gets you a little bit out of the mainstream tourist things. Look at all of these bikes. There's literally 100 of them, and there are more racks down there. Biking is such a big part of the city. In fact, you can rent bikes. You can actually rent electric bikes, and they charge you by the minute. You literally just scan a QR code, and that's how it activates them, unlocks them, and then you can place them back anywhere else in the city. But yeah, the residents here use it for everywhere to go to. I mean, it's a city that you can drive around too, but biking, it's a huge thing. When you park your bike at one of these racks, how do you even remember what's yours? Because they all look so similar, and there are so many of them. Like, there's like 15 rows. I just talked about these racks, but there are another 150 plus here too. All these racks and bikes are in just one spot of the city. So across the whole city, I wonder how many bikes there are in total. Maybe like 30,000. I have no clue. That's just a random guess. So I guess 30,000, and I just looked it up. I was way off. So Copenhagen has a total population of 600,000 people. In the city, there are 120,000 cars, but even though only 600,000 people, there are 750,000 bikes. That is insane to think about. That's more bikes than people. And the reasoning behind that is that some people have a regular bike, and then they also have an electric bike, because the electric bike will help them go up hills, as well as when it's wintertime and it's harder to pedal. But oh my God, that's crazy to think about. Now I'm just walking through King's Gardens, right alongside Rosenborg Castle, and this is a great spot because there are so many different paths for you to take, seeing all the different flowers. There is a pond, and yeah, it's not just like it's one large path that you take. You can cut through all of the different trees, and it's an enjoyable atmosphere, especially if you want to sit down and have a picnic or something right alongside the castle. Yeah, it's great. It's very quaint, and there's a botanical gardens as well. Here is Frederick's church, and I was just walking the street and all of a sudden stumbled upon this, and wow, the grandeur of this, it is incredible. So the Rococo architecture, the columns, the dome, it is known as the Marble Church, clearly because the whole thing is built out of marble. It doesn't look that big from video, but trust me, this is huge. Especially the dome. The dome is literally like the size of just the regular facade. Normally, like, the facade's massive and then the dome's smaller, so it's cool. Now I am walking to Kastellet. It is raining, but look at this. It has such lovely scenery all around. It's so quiet, it's so peaceful. But yeah, let's check out this castle now. Essentially, this is a Danish military base. I don't even know why they allow regular pedestrians here. It is heavily guarded here by the military. You walk in and there are 2 soldiers who have snipers right in their arms. You see all of the different barracks as well. Do you want to know something really cool? Do you see that factory looking thing right there? Well, that is actually an incinerator for garbage, completely burns garbage. But on top of it, it's actually a turf ski slope. So it could be July and you could be skiing on the turf. They have an elevator taking you to the top, and then you ski right down. And it's not that expensive. You know, there's only one slope. It's relatively flat, but it's like $40 per person. Quick stop. This is City Hall, and it is a wide structure, has a very Anglo-Saxon type of feel. But the fun part of the area is that it has an open area where people are walking through, people are hanging out. I'm back now at the colored buildings in the evening time, right along Sunset, and with the restaurants having light, and you have the colors contrasting on the buildings. Wow, what a special sight this is. Right now, it is evening time, and I am chilling right alongside the Nyhavn area. And this is so lovely because it's outside of the regular touristy stuff. They have all retreated back into the inner city, and it's so peaceful right now. We have a boat to my right and a boat to my left, 2 of them actually, but these are actually bars and restaurants that are on top of the boat, and that's so cool how they're docked. And just being able to look at the scenery, and there's a bridge now that I'm gonna go across. People are just chilling dockside, playing music. It's so relaxing and peaceful, especially later when the sun sets. I bet reflecting right along the water on the canal. Okay, yeah, I've discovered my favorite part of Copenhagen, and it is right here. I just love how everybody is sitting down, relaxing by the marina with the boats, the apartments on both sides. Street food area that I found absolutely incredible. So fun. There are so many different stands where you can grab something, all different types of foods, and there are maybe like 100 different benches that you can go and sit on. It is a fun atmosphere. What's even cooler, every single one of these street food stands is inside an old container that they use on a container ship, so from cargo vessels. So yeah, how cool is it that having renewable things? And now everyone behind me is just crowded around the TV to watch a football match. How amazing. And yeah, it's all locals around here. Further proof that this is where you need to check out. Continuing to now just relax, lie down on the boardwalk and chilling at the marina. No tourists around. And if you come to this area, make sure you come right around dinner time, maybe a little bit after, when it is just so peaceful. Another houseboat, look at this. Whole area is such a cool set. My time in Copenhagen has come to an end, and I am glad I have finally made it to Denmark. So the big highlights of the city, well, the art. I didn't get to go see any of the arts, but culture is just all around here. It's everywhere. The palace, the castles, those are something that if you are a fan of that, you need to check out. I'm going to be continuing my travels around Europe now, actually heading to Amsterdam, so make sure you stay up to date on all of those trips.